Hello, good morning, happy weekend. So we are actually talking about a very interesting topic today, type of fiber. We hear that fiber is very important for consuming, it's good for our gut health, but let's just understand a little bit deeper as to what exactly is fiber, why is fiber needed, how much we need, all these questions, right? So answer this question, we have Ayaa. Ayaa is a registered dietitian, clinical nutritionist joining me live from Dubai, and welcome Ayaa.
Hello, welcome all for attending this session, and thank you for having me today. So today we're gonna talk about fiber and why it's important in our diet. So first, let's understand what's fiber. Fiber, as we all know, it's a type of carbohydrates that our body cannot digest, like the other types of carbohydrates. So coming to the recommended daily intake, we need to know that we should consume about 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. Studies have found that many people are just consuming about 15 grams of fiber per day, which is less than the recommendation. I would like to explain for our attendees that fiber sources are like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and nuts.
Okay, so now let's just understand from a scientific point of view, right? Why should we consume fiber? What does it do to our body?
Okay, so in simple terms, before getting into how fiber works in the body, we know that, as I said, fiber does not break down into in the body like the rest of carbohydrates. So this kind of fibers that we don't break it down, we call it non-fermentable. It travels throughout the tract to the colon and can bulk and weight our stools. This is one of the first function. It makes stools easier to pass. One of the other functions of the fiber that it slows down the digestion. It gives us satiety, like we feel full for longer time, as well as it promotes healthy colonies of the bacteria in our gut. So it have some of laxative effect to the body. Yes, and I want to mention that fiber comes in two types. We have the soluble and the insoluble fiber. Each one of them have different function in the body. So we need to consume both of them because each one have its different function in the body. Coming to soluble fibers dissolves in water, so they can help us in lowering blood glucose levels. It helps us also in lowering cholesterol levels. This type of food is which contains soluble fibers include oats, berries, lentils, beans, chia seeds, and nuts. These type of food contain the soluble fibers, which helps us to reduce blood cholesterol and blood sugar levels. On the other side, we have the insoluble fibers, which does not dissolve in water, and it's mostly help us in the constipation. It promotes regularity and to help to prevent constipation by absorbing the water and soften the stools. This kind of fibers, the insoluble fibers, is found in whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, brown bread, some green leafy vegetables, some nuts like almonds. We can find insoluble fibers in it.
Okay, yes. So now the healthy plate, right? So we all know the healthy plate, right? Protein, carbohydrate, and fat. So explain to us when we are having on the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, when we're putting a healthy plate, how do we know how much fiber and what type of fiber should we eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Okay. So I assume that our audience have a background about the healthy plate. If we don't, I want to explain for you that imagine your plate should be divided into 1/4 of it should be carbohydrate, the other 1/4 will be protein, and half of the plate will be vegetables. This is how our plate should look like. And we have other two food groups that we should consume is our fruits and dairy. So how can we make sure we're consuming enough fibers by practicing my plate? So if you have consumed half of your plate vegetables, then of course you're consuming enough fibers. As we said, your carbohydrates, which is your rice, bread, pasta, if you're taking it as a whole grain, brown rice, brown pasta, brown bread, then also you're consuming another type of fiber. If you have your fruit, this is another type of fiber. And by this way, you will make sure that you consume enough fiber during the day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks times by having different types of fruit. Whenever you choose different types of fruits and vegetables, then you will make sure you're getting different types of fibers, insoluble and the soluble, as I mentioned, it's found in different types of food.
Okay, so I just wanted to change a little bit. Fiber and protein, how do they kind of correlate? I know we're not talking about protein, but I just couldn't help asking this question. You know, when we're having fiber soluble and insoluble fiber, protein is also very important for us, right? So do you want to explain a little bit of the correlation between the two and how much we should have?
Yes, I would say that all food groups, as I said, is important. We have 5 food groups and we should consume all. Fibers and proteins, they're correlated both because they both have to make us feel full for longer time, especially for people who's dieting. This is their goal, to feel full for longer time. Therefore, they will eat less and they will lose weight. So having enough protein, the healthy protein, the lean cuts of meat, and fiber, this will help us to promote satiety for a longer time.
Okay, so now for people who are vegetarians, the world is becoming, so many people are becoming vegetarians now and vegan. Do you want to explain a little bit of what type of vegetarian protein that we should consume along with the fiber that you're talking about?
Okay. Also, there is in the legumes is very important source of fibers, and legumes is a type of protein as well. So it's a vegetable having high fiber content, and it's considered plant-based protein. So vegetarians, they don't consume the animal-based protein, but they still have an option of the plant-based protein. So whenever they want to make a meal, they should choose 2 types of plant-based protein. We call it the complementary protein. They can search it out. There is many different dishes having or doing dishes with complementary protein. That they, for example, lentils and quinoa. This different 2 proteins, each one of them have different amino acids, which make sure that vegetarian people will have the full pool of amino acids. So therefore, they will not have any lacking some types of amino acids or muscle wasting or any problem in not covering their protein needs. So for that, we know that legumes and lentils, all of it have high fiber content. So for them to consume such a thing, plant-based protein will make them have their protein needs as well as their fiber.
I think that's excellent. So last question, a typical meal, like typical lunch, right? If I'm vegetarian, what I should have that has fiber and protein and healthy fat, of course, and if I eat meat. So typical lunch, what would you suggest?
Okay. So let's start with the non-vegetarians. Of course, as in my plate, and something to have high protein and high fiber, they can have 1/4 of their plate is, for example, their quinoa. It's a carb option. Quinoa, or for example, brown bread, brown rice, brown pasta, whatever they like. The next 1/4 of the plate will be the lean protein, chicken, fish, or the lean type of red meats. Okay, and half of our plate will be a salad, or for example, steamed vegetable, cooked vegetable, the one with high fiber content we mentioned. Always the salad is the highest in fiber because it contains a lot of green leafy vegetable. So for that, it's higher in fiber. If you want to mention an example for a vegetarian, we would say same, the carb, whatever, is it rice, bread, pasta, brown rice, brown pasta, brown bread, quinoa, all of it. And the protein will be beans, will be lentils, will be maybe any type of legumes, and half of the plate again will be a salad or steamed vegetable, boiled vegetable, whatever they like. And by this way, they will make sure to cover all food groups, enough protein, and the high fiber diet. And their carbohydrate even will be complex carbohydrates, not from the simple type of carbohydrates, to make sure to stabilize their blood sugar levels.
And what type of fat should we add to this plate? Because fat is also important, as we know that.
With the salad, of course, they will dress it with some olive oil. It's a healthy fat. Maybe they can do a salad with some slices of avocado. Maybe the salad, they can add to it nuts. So there is many ways during the cooking, we can say they will add these healthy fats to the dish with the preparation of the dish.
Okay, all right. Well, that's an excellent session. It's a quick 10-minute session that we do on a daily basis. Anything else you'd like to add, Ayaa, before we wrap up today?
I would say that there's many other tips that we can do to increase our fiber intake. There is the chia seeds. They can add it to their food, salads, meals during the day. They can add nuts as also healthy fat and fiber content. It contains fiber. Some people that they feel like they're not consuming enough fruits and vegetables, of course, first we prefer to try to finish it from food and from diet. And if they cannot, there is many products that have high fiber content in it. I would also suggest to them to read the food label. They would see the food label back of the product and read the daily value. Daily value, if it was the percent more than 20% for the fiber, this means it have a high fiber content and it's a good product for them.
All right. Well, excellent. Thank you so much. It's an excellent session. A lot of us don't understand the significance of fiber and protein. You know, I mean, we know that we need to eat protein, but protein and fiber, we don't know how to kind of put it on a daily basis, right? That's I think the issue, at least for me. So really appreciate you joining me today. And to all the people, keep supporting us, keep helping us advocate the holistic wellness on a daily basis. We're bringing global experts who are adept at what they do, and they're giving us tips, free tips on a daily basis. So please take it and look for our platform that's launching soon. So thank you and have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much, Ayaa, for joining me.
Thank you.